All right, here's the video for part writing root position triads using the three basic movements we've talked about in class and has been discussed on flipping theory, the resource I have created for you. So we're going to practice root movement by third, then root movement by fifth, and then root movement by second, and then apply these things to the longer progressions I have here at the bottom. Right, so I've given you a key, the chords, the bass notes, and the first chord so that we can focus on getting from the first to the second. So if you notice as we go that each chord is voiced differently, there are really 6 options for how we can voice any given root position triad. Right, the root will be in the bass, and then above it we have 3 different notes in 2 basic different ways we can write it. So we can have any of the 3 notes that are left in the soprano, and then it's a choice of between which note we have in the soprano, the alto versus the tenor. So I've done pretty much all of these so you can see what they all look like and notice their similarities and differences. Right. So 1 to 6 is a root movement by third. So if you remember, root movement by third will have 2 common tones and 1 step in the upper voices with the bass leap from root to root. So C major has C, E, and G. Notice I have 2 C's to have our doubled root. And our next chord is A, C, and E, in which we need all 3 of those notes because I have an A already. So the 2 notes they share are the C in the tenor and the E in the alto. So the 1 note I need left is the A, which is a step away from this G. It is a step higher. So 1 to 6, here we go. Let's take a listen. Oh, okay. So there's 1 to 6. Notice 2 common tones and a step. It's very smooth. All right, so then we have 1 to 3 here. Notice I've given you a different voicing with sol and the soprano, and this one is also open spacing. So notice we're going in the opposite direction. We're going up a third instead of down. So I recommend you pause the video now to make sure that you can write this yourself and then compare against what I will do when you're done. So when you're ready, unpause the video. So here we go. Let's see what I do here. So G, B, D, moving to B, D, F sharp. So the 2 notes they share are B and D. So the D is in the soprano and the B is in the tenor. So my alto will move from G to F sharp, which is in the key signature. So 2 common tones and a step. Let's see what this one sounds like. Again, notice very smooth. Right, so now for root movement by fifth, our most basic option would be 1 to 5 or 5 to 1. They're the same, just in reverse. So here's a different voicing. This is close spacing with the 5th sol and the soprano. So F, A, C moving to C, E, G. They share the note C, which is in my soprano, so I'll keep the C common tone. And the 2 other notes I need are an E and a G. And we're going to have 2 steps that move in the same direction. So my A here can either move down to the G. That's it. And my F can move up to G or down to E. And since the A has 1 option, I'll go from A down to G. And then so my F will then be forced to move to the E. Notice, so common tone and step, 2 steps in the same direction with the bass leap moving from root to root. Here's 1, 5 in F major. Okay, wonderful. Sorry about having the next chord and the next progression happening all the time. Right, so there's 1 to 5. Notice that this one is almost as smooth. It's got 1 common tone, but it has 2 steps as the root movement by third. So let's do D major, 1 to 4. Another option for root movement by fifth. So we're going from a D major chord to a G major chord. So pause the video and try part writing this yourself, and then unpause the video when you're done to see what I will do. All right, here we go. So D major, D, F sharp, and A, moving to G, B, D. The common tone is D, which is in the alto in this example. And then I need, so I have G and D. I need another G and a B to double the root. Right, so my A can either move up to B or down to G, while my F sharp can only move up to G by step. So I move that to G, which means that my A will move up to B. So notice a common tone and two steps moving in the same direction with the bass leap going from root to root. Let's hear 1 to 4. Great. All right, so there's root movement by fifth. One common tone and two steps in the same direction. All right, so now root movement by second. So the thing I see all the time, and the thing that is a very big problem in the style we're trying to emulate, is taking everything the smoothest option, which is having everybody move up by step. Looks like this and sounds like this. So notice that has parallel octaves, B flat to C, in both the soprano and bass. And it also has parallel fifths between the bass and the alto. B flat up to F as a perfect fifth, and C up to G as a perfect fifth. So this eliminates all the voice independence we want. It's very smooth, but it doesn't have any voice independence. And for some reason, actually for very good reasons, Beethoven and Mozart and Bach will not make this choice. They want something that's more voice independent. And it's smooth. It's smooth enough, really. So let's do the option that I need you to learn. So this one is called, I call it the contrary motion rule. So for root movement by second, whatever way the bass is moving, usually up, sometimes down, the other three voices will all move in the opposite direction, that is, in this case, down, in contrary motion to the bass. So going the opposite direction to what the bass is doing, to the next available note in the chord. So I need a C, an E flat, and a G above my C here. So B flat, the next available note going down is G. The F, the next available note going down is E flat. And my D, the next available note, is C. So there we go. We have the contrary motion rule. Bass ascends by step in root position chords. Everybody else goes down in the opposite direction. In this case, notice two steps and one leap of a third. Here, let's hear this one. Lovely. All right, so now another version of the same kind of progression is 4 going up to 5. So pause the video now and give this a chance, give this a try, and then after you're done, compare with what I do. Right, so 4 in A major is a D major chord, moving to 5 in E major chord. So I have an E, so I need an E, a G sharp, and a B. So we're going to use the contrary motion rule. D will go down to the next available note, which is B. The F sharp will go down to the next available note, which is E. And the A will go down to the next available note, which is G sharp. So here's 4 to 5 in A major. Lovely. Okay, so now that we know our root movement by third, which is 2 common tones and a step, root movement by fifth, which is 1 common tone and 2 steps in the same direction, and then root movement by second, which is the contrary motion rule. Everybody goes in the opposite direction of the bass. We can apply those 3 ideas to those 3 movements to longer progressions to get very smooth, nice sounding, but not necessarily interesting, but boy do they work nicely in our set of rules here to emulate something sort of like what Mozart or Bach might do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to part write the 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, and then I'm going to let you try 1, 3, 4, 5, 1 and see if you can get an answer like I'm doing. Okay, so in E minor we need E, G, B, and E, which we have here in open spacing, and Do in the soprano. So E, C, A, B, E is our bass for 1, 6, 4, 5, 1. So 1 to 6 is root movement by third. So 2 common tones and a step. So E, G, B and C, E, G. The 2 common notes are E and G, which are in my soprano and my alto. So the other remaining note will go, other remaining voice, the tenor will move up by step to double the C. Now 6 to 4, C major to A minor, is again a root movement by third. So 2 common tones and a step. The 2 common tones in this instance are C and E, which are in my tenor and my soprano. And the other voice, G, will move up by step to A. Doubled A, C, E. Right? 4 to 5 is root movement by second. So here's our contrary motion rule. The bass ascends by step, so everybody else will go down to the next available note. My C in the tenor will move to B to double the B. The A will move down to F sharp. And I need to make a major 5 chord in E minor, I need a D sharp. Notice the accidental here for T. Make sure you do not forget the accidentals for minor key examples using 5 for T. It's very important that you not forget that you remember that very important piece of information. All right, and then from 5 to 1 we apply the root movement by fifth. The common tone of B major to E minor is B in our tenor, and the other 2 voices will move up by step to E in the soprano and G in the alto. Here's what 1, 6, 4, 5, 1 sounds like in E minor. Lovely. So now give D minor 1, 3, 4, 5, 1 a try. And then when you're done, restart the video and watch what I do. Here we go. So I have a closed spacing with sol in the soprano. So 1 to 3 is root movement by third, 2 common tones and a step. So our common tone here are F and A. So F is in the alto and A is in the soprano. The other note I need is a C, which is a descending step in the tenor. 3 to 4 is root movement by second. So we need to have a contrary motion rule here. Everybody needs to go down the next available note. C will go down to B in our G major chord. F will go down to D in our G major chord, and A will go down to G in our G major chord. G minor, excuse me, man. B flats, haha, so this is B flat. All right, then from 4 to 5 is another root movement by second. So we have everybody go down. The B flat in the tenor will become an A. The D moves down to T, in this case C sharp to make A major, and then G will go down to E to complete our chord. Double A, C sharp, E, and then 5 to 1. 5 to 1 is a root movement by fifth, so our common tone here is in the tenor, and then C sharp and E both move up by step, F and D. Right, so there's 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, using the 3 basic movements for part writing. Wonderful. So make sure you practice these 2 longer progressions in major and minor in preparation for the exam. And now you can watch the other video on 1, 5, 1 in various ways.